Thanks for watching the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk college football. East Stroudsburg University head football coach Denny Douds joining us on the show. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Super. It's a great day at Poconos.
Well, you're 4-1, big game this weekend in the Poconos for Stroudsburg, East Stroudsburg, that is. And tell us about the opponent this weekend, Coach.
We travel to Westchester University, and for those folks who know and those folks who don't know, this has always been a great rivalry. And we're traveling there. It's their homecoming. They're 5-0. They're ranked 17th in the country. They got a tailback that's leading the country in all-purpose yardage. And they have been kind of screwed up a little bit in the last couple of years. Their quarterback, for instance, broke his leg. They've had a couple other injuries on there. They seem to have gotten all those kids back for their senior year. And that's why they're kind of raising some ruckus in that Philadelphia area.
Well, I know they started off the season with a bang, that's for sure, Westchester, and they've continued to march on. But you got a pretty good football team there as well for East Stroudsburg. Tell us about this 4-1 East Stroudsburg football team this year, Coach. How are you guys getting it done?
Well, last year we had 67 kids that were pure freshmen or redshirt freshmen out of our 85. We're allowed to have 85 on our squad in gender equity Title IX number. And so we were young pups last year. This year, we're still young, but we have some experience, and that's kind of actually more of a football coach, because you're young and inexperienced, or you got some experience and you got all seniors. They're going to lose them in a year. So most of the kids that are playing right now are really underclassmen. On defense, for instance, we don't have a senior on the defense. We have one kid as a grad student. But beyond that, they're all underclassmen. As far as the offense is concerned, we got about three guys on there. They're starting for us. And, the way you play today, you don't play with 11. You probably play with a total of about 50, 55 kids total with offense, defense, and special teams. And they're young. They've got some experience. They're starting to shave a couple times a week, so we're glad of that. With that experience, we hope we can make it pay off for us.
We're talking with Denny Douds from East Stroudsburg University, and of course, this weekend is a big game. They travel down to Westchester, a 5-0 team versus a 4-1 team. Coach, what are you more pleased with at this point in the season, as far as the offense or the defense, or right now you feel pretty good about both?
We've been playing well on pretty much both sides. I mean, last week we had a good game. We threw the ball for our quarterback threw for 400, almost 450 yards. He was a PSAC player in the East, offensive player. He was a Division II national player along with our offensive line and throwing the ball. But we ran the ball for over 200 yards. The first three games we had a rarity. We like to throw the ball down here in Stroudsburg, and in doing that, the running game has kind of caught up with it. Well, the first three games we had this year, we rushed for over 300 yards in each of those games, and we've got pretty good balance right now. So we feel we can run the ball, throw the ball, and be pretty effective in doing either one of those. Now, we're blessed with having about 6 out of 7 guys who wide receivers for us that played for us last year are back, and we've got a young man at tailback by the name of Robert Keeley. From Long Island. He was a Thorpe Award winner out there. He's a redshirt freshman. He's a young man. If you wonder what the Thorpe Award was, you might know some guys that have won that in the past. Guys like Jim Brown, Boomer Esiason. Some of those guys just tell you he's the best football player in 3.5 million people who live on Long Island and Nassau and Suffolk counties. So we're blessed to have him here, and he's made a big difference. Along with that offensive line, Coach Santella coaches up, and we have a senior center in Greg Blue. He's kind of leading the charge, and the rest of those guys are 2 tackles that are sophomores, and a guard that's a sophomore, and another guard that's a junior. So, and they're all pretty good-sized kids. And we have a senior fullback in Tom Tippett. And, with Andy Soltez, he's a redshirt sophomore right now. And he is just starting. I think this week will be his 13th game starting for us. Last year, he was a freshman player of the year in the conference and one of the top freshmen throwing the ball last year in the country in dealing with that. So we're glad to have him back. Now, maybe another big factor in our success has been our defense. And Coach Forgraves, the defensive coordinator, done a super job with those guys. We had Brian Thompson returning. He's a young man who was a defense player of the year as a sophomore defensive tackle. Rarity. Most of the time, you just see a safety or has a lot of interceptions, or a linebacker with a lot of tackles, or maybe a defensive end with sacks. But for a tackle to be defensive player of the year, that is a rarity. Now, he does have some talent. He has some pretty good size. He's 6'3", about 290. Puts up about 500 pounds and runs about a 5-flat 40. But he blocked 6 PATs and field goals last year. And he's blocked a couple this year already. So he's got the school record in that. And that is a rarity. In fact, if someone were to tell me, hey, we blocked 6 kicks in the last 4 years, you'd probably be doing backflip. And for one guy to do that this season, tremendous. And we have a young man by the name of Brandon Catelli, who's a defensive end. And he is raising a lot of ruckus along with Cody Simcox, big 6'3", 230-pound middle linebacker. And then Teron Douds is one of the top interceptors in the league as a cornerback for us. So those guys, and Anthony Singler, who's a kind of a strong safety type guy, he's like having a coach on the field. And then if you look at the special teams with Taylor Groff is he's probably got one of the strongest legs in Division II kicking. Now he's missed a couple this year, but that might be our fault because hey, we put him out there and say, hey, go out there and pull a kick it from the 50 or 54-yard line or 55-yard line or something like that. And the odds aren't great, but you know what? He has the leg to put it through and maybe clear the post by another 10 yards. So we're not afraid to take that shot when we get it. But that's some of the reasons why we've been successful. When those guys operate at a pretty high efficiency rate, we've been battle tested with those young guys, and we're looking forward to that contest down at Westchester this weekend.
Denny Douds, the legendary coach at East Stroudsburg University, the Warriors, will do it 2 o'clock this weekend. Again, it is on the road. Coach, scouting report for Westchester, both offensively and defensively. What do you need to do to try to stay in the game and see at the end if the Warriors here can pull this one out?
Well, they got a young man by the name of White playing tailback, and their offense pretty much goes through him. And McCartney, senior or junior quarterback, is back. He has an arm that can throw it, but they want to get White the ball. He'll run the ball, and he's averaging probably somewhere around 180 yards on the ground. He catches the ball for probably another 50 yards in dealing with that. And if things are slow for him, then they put him in and let him run kickoffs back in dealing with that. So we got to keep him under wraps right there. We got another kid playing defense by the name of Williams, middle linebacker, an All-American. And he deserves it too. He's earned it the hard way. He made all the plays and dealing with that. And they got a good cast down there. They got some receivers that can catch the ball. They got some guys in the secondary or back playing tough pass defense. And then they got those guys up front that drive you nuts with their stunts and twists and all that kind of stuff. But that, and then they also have a nice kicker down there. He's a senior, and he's had great success in his career here at the PSAC. So we're going to have to be on top of our game to play it down there at their homecoming at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon in Westchester.
Well, Coach Denny Douds, we appreciate you joining us here on the John Mendola Show. After Westchester, Bloomsburg at home, Kutztown on the road, and then 3 home games for East Stroudsburg to close out the season. Coach, we look forward to talking to you again in the coming weeks, and wish you the best this weekend against Westchester.
Hey, John, thanks a lot. It's always great to talk with you.